5'9", Yo.
All right, so thank you so much for checking in with me today. I am your host, Nicole, and joining me is none other than Saleem, aka the Conduit. Did I say that right?
Yes, you did. Peace, everybody. Peace.
Peace. So, welcome to the show, and I appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule to chat with me for a minute.
I'm definitely down. I'm looking forward to this. So, let's get started.
Okay. Well, I see you out there grinding and putting in that good work. So I'm always drawn to people who are natural hustlers, and I commend you on a very successful 2019. But for those who may not know, tell us a little bit about yourself and your profession.
Um, I I call myself the conduit for a reason. I usually just I think I'm good at connecting things, and a lot of my peers have told me that when I got into this industry roughly about 6 years ago. So this is all still somewhat new to me.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, it's a learning experience. As it
Mm-hmm.
goes by, for somebody being 6 years in. Um, but at the same time, I attribute that to the energy that I put out there. I guess positive energy attracts
Mm-hmm.
positive energy. So,
Right. So you're a promoter?
promoter, do marketing, event planning, sometimes some stage management with certain shows.
Okay.
Um, Mainly artist liaison. Sometimes when management and artists come to the city, I usually plug certain things or host certain things. So
Okay.
kind of jack of all trades.
I hear that. So what made you choose that line of profession? I mean, what is it that naturally drew you to that line of work?
Um, Actually, it wasn't something that I was drawn to because honestly, at first I was a homebody.
Okay.
I was working a 9 to 5,
Mm-hmm.
and I enjoyed most of my time, on social media, Twitter or IG, and just going back and forth with a few peers of mine, about hip hop or just certain things in general. And in 2013, a good brother of mine by the name of AG the Coroner out of East New York, Brooklyn, he was signed to an independent label by the name of Man Bites Dog Records that's based out in Manassas, Virginia. And Rock Marciano was the one who signed him. So, me being a fan and listening to AG's music, but also, we had a personal relationship, he recommended that I should try to come and work for the label. And I didn't understand in what capacity, I didn't have any knowledge of what to do, but he just basically put the word in and was like, go holler at these people, and from there on you should be good. And I contacted the people he asked me to contact, gentleman by the name of Ryan Lynch, who's the
Mm-hmm.
CEO of Man Bites Dog Records. I went out there one July afternoon. Out Manassas, Virginia is basically roughly about an hour and a half by public transportation from DC. So
Mm-hmm.
basically, I got on the train to go out there to see what was it about.
Okay.
Um, Went out there and I was rocking with them since July 13th up until you can say maybe last year. Yeah, about last year, when they more so started focusing on their subdivision, which is entitled Records and Rarities, which they specialize in vinyl.
Okay.
So I can just say with my relationship there with Man Bites Dog Records, it introduced me to Rock Marciano and my brother Jazz UN Gang. And from there on, I just started flourishing. They taught me how to, market. They taught me how to promote. They
Mm-hmm.
taught me how to A&R. They taught me how to, edit, and, just a whole bunch of stuff that I was never privy to, or I didn't know that's what went into a lot of things that was going on at the time. But
Okay.
I learned the process, and it just totally grew into something else.
Yeah, I can see you definitely out there doing your thing. It's crazy how it all came together, though. I was looking at your social media. Are you originally from Ghana?
Yeah, I'm originally from Ghana, Sunyani to be exact, the Brong Ahafo region.
Okay.
So yeah, that's where I'm originally from, and came here to the States. My father playing pro soccer at the time for the Washington Diplomats and the Washington Darts, and from then been here ever since. But I do make it my mark to go home as much as possible. So I try to go home every year, if not that every other year.
Oh, wow. I was going to ask you, when do you plan on going home?
It's beautiful to
Word.
visit.
Mhm.
That's something I recommend that everyone should do. You
Right.
know, uh, not necessarily Ghana. If you feel like you need to find your, I guess your roots.
Hmm.
And if it happens to trace back to the motherland, find a way to go back to that country to find your roots. But a lot of us say that Ghana is the gateway.
Okay.
So, we would, you know, definitely welcome anyone to, come over there, even get your dual citizenship if need be. We're welcoming, the people to come back home. So, a lot of people have a lot of misconceptions about Africa, due to propaganda and,
Right.
certain lies, so on and so forth. But, if you were to go there yourself and step foot on the land, it'll be totally something different.
Yeah, I can imagine. It's a beautiful place. I hope to be able to travel there one day. Um, that that we have that connection, and that we're starting to build more, and can go and feel welcome.
No, definitely. That's the main thing. I think everyone in general wants to feel connected to something, and
Hmm.
with our people, they've been through a lot. You know,
Yes.
there's of course misconceptions, a lot of lies that's been told about the motherland, but you
Right.
know, people fail to realize that they got a lot of their flavor from us to begin with. So
Of course.
don't deny your root, don't deny your home. Just go back, whether it's for a week, 2 weeks, a month. Just see what the continent's about. See what
Right.
the country's about, and do your due diligence, and make your own decision from there. But I know most people who have went, they always clamor to go back.
Right.
I know people who have went and they've gone back and bought land and built homes.
Mm.
So
Wow.
you know I can say, you know just go there and see for yourself.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. Okay, Saleem. So I have to ask, you
Yeah.
fell in love with hip hop when you heard?
Wow. The show with Dougie Fresh and Slick Rick.
Yes.
That's when I uh officially fell in love with hip hop. I remember there used to be this station in Washington D.C. called WDJY, and it
Hmm.
was on 100 FM, and they used to have the countdown at 6. And I just remember one night coming in and from playing and just turn on the radio, and I think maybe going into the number one song, it was Dougie Fresh and Slick Rick, the show. And I was like, what is this? And I heard it and I was like, I don't know what happened. I, I, I think I had like a mini explosion inside my brain or something. And I started looking for tape and things of that nature because I wanted to record it. But by the
Right.
time I found the tape and found the scotch tape that I needed and a piece of tissue in order to stick in the record button, the song was already over. So
Right.
I made it I made it, you know, I made it a point to get in the house the next day, from whatever
Right.
I was doing, at least 5 to 10 minutes before the countdown was over,
Right.
just to get the song. And sure enough, the second day, number one again, Dougie Fresh and Slick Rick, the
Yeah.
show. And I pressed
Yeah.
record, and I think I played that tape back to back to back to back for the rest of the night until I fell asleep. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what's up. It'll do that to you.
Yeah, straight up.
So who's heavy in your playlist right now? Who are you listening to right now as far as hip hop?
Well, as far as hip hop, of course, the guy Rock Marciano,
Hmm.
shameless plug. We just dropped Marcialago.
Yes, I
My
saw. It's definitely dope.
Yeah, thank you very much. My brother has been in the game a decade, and definitely been influential in his genre of music, and I'm just glad to be a part of that. Listening, of course, to my artist Uncle John,
Okay.
young artist out of Washington D.C. The young guy Fly Anakin, King Bub Rock out of Long Island, Rome Streets, my homie Crime Apple. Of course, my Griselda family, West Side, of course, Benny,
Hmm. Hmm.
Conway, Conway, I call him, we call each other twin because we share the same birthday.
Okay, that's what's up.
Um, yeah, the good Flea Lord,
Mm,
Mob Flea, rest in peace to Prodigy.
of course.
Uh, and still, in my 90s bag, of course, whenever that playlist comes up. But right now, the young kids, really got it going on. Like Mutant Academy, Fly Anakin, like all them cats. Like I'm really, young Unc got me into these kids. So
Okay.
that's where my energy has been as of late. So that's who I've been really rocking with.
Okay. And speaking of the young ones, are you enjoying the direction that hip hop is going in right now?
Well, I enjoy the direction that is going in so far as it, giving an outlet to the kids instead of, the alternative, which
Hmm.
could be worse,
Right.
is giving them an outlet to make some money and to enrich their lives and the ones around them. But so far as the music wise on the mainstream side, I have, of course, I have my reservations, but at the same time, they do what they do. I'm not going to hate on it. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Get your money, influence who you want to influence. But, coming from, the energy that I come from, I'm more so, you know, like things peaceful in a way. At the same time, I like some lyrics to begin with,
Right.
to display where you're coming from, so I can understand you better.
Right.
I'm not always partying. I'm not always getting a bottle. I'm not always in the club. I'm not always around models. I'm
Of
not always
course.
driving foreign sports. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So, that's really what it's about. Oh yeah, I can't forget definitely my little brother in Rhapsody. Oh man, yeah, like yeah, man, like those. Yeah, like I said, them the ones that I'm, grown man rapping, and them youngins, they doing it for me right now.
Okay. So I want to switch gears a little bit and ask you um, some of your thoughts on politics. And since it seems like we may be on the brink of war, how do you feel about this latest resolution being passed to stop Trump from starting a war with Iran?
I mean, me personally, I don't call it politics. It's all politics
Of course.
as far as I'm concerned. I just want my people to do better and to think better. If you keep getting duped every 4 years into thinking that so and so is gonna deliver this to you, then y'all been sheep for too long, because it's the same song and dance every 4 years.
Exactly.
So, with that war stuff going on with Iran that right now, I just see history repeating itself, because, I lived through, when Desert Storm happened. And
Mm-hmm.
then, of course, when we went to Afghanistan,
Right.
bottom line is always about big business and, of course they want resources. So
Right.
if you really think they're going over there to better someone's lives, you're very much naive, because I don't think it's your business to try to come in, let's say, trying to solve somebody's problems that they've been having since the beginning of time,
Mm-hmm.
or the problems that you may have started, in a sense.
Exactly.
You understand what I'm saying? And the shit got out of control, and now you trying to play the hand the other way. So, when it comes to politics, people can talk all that. They can talk all that riffraff, all that government talk all they want, but to me, it's all trickery.
Mm-hmm. So, what do you think as far as like, it's really not a lane for us, for the Black community, for Republican or Democrat, or really independent? What do you think would be the best option for Black people to do, instead of every 4 years going to the voting polls and falsely believing that something different is going to happen this time?
Well, I think it just comes down for us, for one, to look in the mirror, and come to terms that we need to come together. And
Mm-hmm.
I think one, if me personally, I think the key is knowledge of self.
Mm-hmm.
If a lot of my people knew who they were, knew where they came from, and knew what they're about, I think it would be easier to mobilize.
Right.
Um, I think it would be easier for us to form a union, and in that union, if there's a certain political party that wants our quote unquote vote, well, these are the list of demands that you have to abide by.
Right.
And if this is, not the things that you can run on, that you can speak on, then, we will withhold our vote, so to speak. Is I tell people that, don't pay attention to the circus that's going on, which is
Mm-hmm.
the mainstream. Take care of home first. You gotta, know what's going on locally within your community, and hold those people accountable.
Right.
And once you do that and you put the right people in place, then I think it trickles, not downward, but upward into, I guess, larger offices, and
Right.
in order to handle things that people want handled. But like I said, it starts small. It starts with us.
Right. That's true. And I definitely agree with you. I don't understand why we are not withholding our votes until we at least get reparations. Like, I'm not looking at anybody until we start the discussion with reparations, period. Like, you cannot have my vote.
Yeah, I mean, reparations is definitely something to stand on, but if they can already been given, the Jewish people there, that suffered from the Holocaust, they've been giving them their money, and
Right.
certain other races that have suffered at the hands of, I guess, the U.S. or the white man, quote unquote, and they're getting their reparations. But
Right.
we're the last of the totem pole. Like, I honestly don't, see that something happening. That's just me. It's good talk,
Mm.
but if you really want to do something about it, that's something that could have been, done long time ago. But year in, year out, you keep creating, you know, more laws and, more rules to try to exclude us. And now shit is just blatant.
Mm-hmm.
You just out here basically killing us, not giving a fuck. Me personally, I'm at the point like, why should I give a fuck?
Mm-hmm.
It's always, it seems to been that way since the beginning of time, that there's something you want from us, or there's something that that's within us, and you're trying to destroy it because it's something you're trying to extract, or it's just something you don't want us to discover.
Mm-hmm.
Me personally, I'm just in the age now where I tell our people that I'm eye for an eye.
Mm. I like that. I'm definitely with that. um, So, do you believe that Trump is going to be elected for a second term?
I mean, who knows? I mean, you know why he threw up the war in the first place is to divert from the impeachment. So
Right.
you I mean, what Democratic candidate that's out there that you really think is going to oppose him? I mean, honestly, you went through how many 22 to 23 people out there campaigning, people lying. They talked about they listened to Tupac in '86, and you know, you, you got another one who literally just had a heart attack and now is back on the trail. You really think he's fit to, run the country? And I mean, like, come on, man. Like, people gotta be, man. You gotta be real with yourself. Stop. Like, you could take it as an insult if you want. Stop being stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Stop being dumb. Period. It's blatantly right there in your face. You have the information. If you can sit here and talk about it on Twitter and Facebook all day with your friends, your little groups and things of that nature,
Mm-hmm.
but you still falling for the, banana in the tailpipe, and you deserve what you get.
Right. So, if somebody from out of way left field, like Kanye West, what would you say? What would you say?
Man, Kanye is a sucker. And honestly, I know I'm, I know I'm semi in the industry or whatever. And I know how people like to talk or whatever, but there's just some things I do not co-sign. There's just some things I don't condone. And with homie, to me it just seems like he trolling, and it's all just for the purpose of his brand, So as far as I'm concerned with homie, he a sucker.
I mean, tell me how you really feel.
Shoot, we tell the truth and we shame the devil. That's how we do over here.
Right.
Allah world manifest. In the 5% nation. So, you are what you are.
Okay, I understand. We're gonna switch gears, and I want to put you in a hot seat for a second.
Uh-oh.
I
already thought I was.
I just want to discuss relationships and a little bit of dating. Is that cool?
Oh Lord. Yeah, go ahead. Let's get into it. I knew it was gonna happen one way or the other.
I'm not even gonna get that deep, right?
Man.
I'm not going that far, I promise. It's your first time on the show. I'll catch you on the next one, though. So if a woman wants to take you out on a date and she asks you out, do you expect her to pick up the tab at the end of the night?
I mean, she asked me out. I mean, I'm just being honest. She asked me out, but I wouldn't expect her to pick up the tab. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know, what way she's coming from. And, I was taught as a man that, you handle what you're supposed to handle. And if we're going out on a date, and yeah, you ask me out, but yeah, it's the dinner and all that. I ain't got no problem spotting that. Hold yours.
Would you be okay with her paying at the end of the night as well?
I mean, yeah, and especially in the age we're in, I don't want to, in the age of, woman, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I understand what's going on, and at the same time, I ain't trying to stop, nobody's progression or nobody thinking I'm trying to stop their independence or that, you need a man in order to survive, so on and so forth. But, I have different thoughts on that. But
right.
I mean, do your thing, you know what I mean?
But judging from social media, why do you think men and women are having such a hard time with relating to one another? A while ago, before social media, we would actually have to get out to go meet people, to the club, to the bar, church, the grocery store, wherever. But now it seems like it's so much easier to, see people and get to know people. But why does it seem like it's still such a disconnect? What are your thoughts?
Well, the disconnect is because, everybody got their phone in their hand, and that's the way things are being pushed nowadays. I'm thankful I grew up in an era where we used to have to pass notes.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I'm thankful where, we used to actually court a woman.
Mm,
You know, we used to, ask about, who she was and how, who her family was, and, just things of that nature was actual courting, because, you wanted to know the pet peeves of that person so you wouldn't make a mistake.
right.
Whereas, now, yeah, I understand we're visual people, and, we have the technology now where people can see us, and, we're out here showing what we're doing in our lives because we're also sharing a lot.
Hmm.
And, sometimes that's, you know, I guess people don't see that in their space, or in their cipher, and they see what's on social media, and there's certain keywords and maybe certain quote unquote filters that will attract somebody.
Hmm.
um it's definitely a disconnect, because you can't, there's really no nuance.
Mm,
You can't really tell where a person is coming from, unless it's attached with an emoji. Like, this generation is really is different. I could say for me operating in this generation, I know I can adapt, but at the
hmm.
same time, it's just, you know I'm I'm still about getting to know the person. I'm still about human interaction. So,
Right.
um I ain't going front. I jumped out there before on the social media, and I ain't going front. I got duped. Due to filters, and there's things. People want to tell you what they want you to hear, and
Hmm.
I could say I played that game too. You know what I'm saying? And
Hmm.
it didn't turn out so great. You know what I'm saying? So,
Okay.
with that being said, I'm just way more cautious now
Right.
on who I interact with, and you know I guess more say go from there. But sometimes it's, I don't know, we all is just in a weird space, so to speak. And
Mm,
I I
indeed.
I, I think with social media, you see people on there, they're reaching out in a sense, and I just think everybody wants a little bit of compassion and companionship. That's really all that people are looking for. And
Or attention.
yeah, well, yeah, definitely attention too, but I also think the ones who participate in that realm in social media, they're also hurt people. You
Mm,
understand what I'm saying?
right.
Because maybe there's something that happened in their life where they feel that, okay, they can reach out to somebody else that has the same interest that they have in their interaction back and forth on the social media, where they think that they have so much in common, when all it is 200 and what 40 characters,
Mm,
280 characters. So I mean, if you're basing your feelings on algorithms and characters, you're really in for a rude awakening.
mm,
In our nation, we say we don't take things on face value.
mm,
You have to do the knowledge behind it in order to make sure that what you're dealing with is factual.
mm.
So right now a lot of people are taking shit on face value.
Right.
Get to know the person behind the Avi. Get to know the person behind the Instagram picture that you like because they were standing next to somebody that you might be interested in,
Right.
or that you know what I mean. So yeah, like I said, we're definitely in a weird space.
Said I agree. It's a weird space because I like you. I come from a time where, we pass notes and, you actually dated somebody and they actually wanted to know how your day was. And I feel sorry. I have a daughter, a teenage daughter, and I still try to guide her in the way that I was raised, but still try to be able to relate to what's going on now.
Well, she's very fortunate because the kids in these age who are having the children don't really have that to fall back on. Like, it's really no foundation. It's just
Right.
more so everybody out here for self.
Right.
And then at the same time, I come from the era where, you wanted to be curious. You wanted a little mystery.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And nowadays everything is just out there all in your face.
Exactly.
Here's my ass. And here's this. Let me, I mean, like,
Yeah.
yo, like, it's it's crazy, but I mean,
I'm laughing, but it's true.
It's true, like, for real, because you can't. I mean, you got to school them. I'm thankful that I raised some beautiful queens, and a beautiful king, and they're respectful, and they know what to do, and I'm working on my last one, my little 11-year-old, my twin.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? She know the deal that I don't sugarcoat nothing, because I never sugarcoat nothing with her siblings. So
Yeah.
I'm just letting her know what time it is, because she's coming up in this age, but she's fortunate that I can give her the knowledge that I possess.
No doubt.
I can go ahead and give her the necessary guidance, so she ain't got to fall for no okie doke.
Right. And that's
yeah,
important, especially coming from her father. That's so important, and it's so necessary, and it's so needed.
Yeah, definitely needed. Yeah, super weird space out here. I just tell people, just navigate, wisely. You know what I'm saying? Just, sometimes you can really tell just by energy. Energy is definitely transferable.
Always.
I tell these people that, these apps, you spending your time on these apps is definitely drawn from your energy. So when people see the things you say, they automatically engage with you because it's something that you triggered in them. So they, you got to understand that it comes in all forms. You just got to be mindful. You just really have to be mindful with it.
Yeah. You definitely handing out life lessons. This is good.
I'm trying, because my elders gave it to me, so it's only right that I pass it down. I can't. What am I going to do with it? You know what I mean? If I sit there and hold it for self,
right.
That's being selfish. That's not me showing any type of equality.
Right. That's exactly right. Well, we got through that. Phew. And I want to ask you, before I wrap it up, I want to get into a little bit about religion. Do you think religion plays a part of why the Black community is in the state that it's in right now, as far as socially and economically? Do you think that it's helping us or hindering us as a culture?
Oh, it's been a hindrance since the jump.
Yeah.
How can you? Let me try to simplify this. Of course, you were robbed of your nationality.
Right.
You were taken from where you call home. You watched your mothers, your aunties, your grandmothers raped. You watched your fathers get murdered and lynched.
Right.
Things of that nature. But at the same time, they're telling you that there's certain religion is going to bring you salvation. That's what was taught. That's what was taught to you constantly. While they're cracking the whip.
Right.
While they're raping your mother, while they're raping your child, while they're chastising and killing, the male, the stronghold of the family. So, with religion, I leave that to the deaf, dumb, and blind, and not to mean that in a harmful sense. That's what we call the 85%.
Right.
And the 10% is, the bloodsuckers of the poor. And the bloodsuckers are poor, meaning, poor in physicality, but poor in the mind as well.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? And
I do.
they're the ones who know what's really going on, but you're force feeding the people, these stories,
right,
to keep them at bay, because you're gaining something from them that's benefiting you. You understand what I'm saying? Where it's our duty as the 5%, the poor righteous teacher, to teach peace to all parts of the human family, and give them of who the knowledge of God is. So, with religion, if that's supposed to bring peace, I haven't seen it since its inception. If anything, it has done nothing but separate. It has caused wars, and it has drawn lines amongst people. If you feel that it's necessary for you to keep hoping and keep getting on your knees and thinking some mystery God is going to jump out the sky and give you what you need, I'm sorry, you're in for a rude awakening. That's just what I know. That's just how I operate. That's just how I motivate. So, do what you do. What makes you, makes you feel good. In a sense, I guess, as long as it's making you serve the people in a peaceful manner, then that's cool. But if you're not operating in that manner and you're hiding behind the religion, to do bad in a sense, then, like I said, religion has been a problem since the beginning. So that's not something that I choose to deal with anymore. I was raised a Catholic, and then I started to see things through certain behaviors of people who were of the same faith. And then I didn't understand why they were acting that way, but yet you claim this religion is supposed to be, love one another, but your actions show otherwise.
Right.
So then that had me, try, some other things. I went into Islam. And that brought some structure and some foundation to me. But at the same time, I still felt, I needed something factual. I needed to touch something.
Okay.
And there was something, burgeoning inside of me that I needed to know. So that right there had led me to the 5%. And, I was fortunate to meet my educator, my enlightener, Bar King Shamel Allah.
Okay.
He's here out of Divine C, who his teacher was Father Lord, may he rest in power, originally out of Staten Island, who a lot of people don't know is the one who gave RZA, his mathematics.
Okay.
Yeah, yes, Freedom Allah, of course, Papu was influential, but it was Father Lord who's in our tree line, who was the one who gave my educator the mathematics, and also gave RZA the mathematics as well.
Okay. Wow. Well, thank you for that knowledge.
Well, you're more than welcome.
What are some of your goals for 2020?
Well, 2020, definitely more focus on my company, my brand, the Conduit LLC, where we'll be doing booking, marketing, promotion, stage management, artist liaison, things of that nature. Let's just say a concierge for entertainment.
Okay.
I'll be partnering with my people over at Blue Aura PR agency. Got a couple of things going on. Got a few things popping off. Don't want to put it out there
Okay.
just yet. You know, my thing is more so always showing improving. So, you know, when those
Okay.
things come to fruition, you'll definitely know. You'll see a flyer, you'll see a link. Uh, but
Okay. Well, we'll be looking
Yeah, but
for
we
it.
definitely have some working on some big things. Also, my young guy, my artist Uncle John, super focused on him. We got some big things, you know, going on with him. February got him opening for Cameron on his Purple Haze 2 tour
Okay.
here in Washington D.C. at the Howard Theater. Then turn right back around on the 22nd. We're out in L.A. for the first time, so.
Nice.
Yeah, got some good things going on with him. You know, just a lot more focus on him and his brand and his music and getting it out there to the
Okay.
masses. And just I guess keep doing some collaborations out here and bringing good things to the people.
Okay. And I can come get my grill done.
Oh yeah, you can. Oh yeah. Yo, shout out to my sponsor and my homie, my brother, Rich Grills.
Okay.
Rich Grills out in Lithonia, Maryland. Y'all can find him on IG at Rich Grills at RichGrillz. He also does tattoos.
Oh wow.
But his main thing is definitely the grills. He reached out to me like about 3 weeks ago. You know, I've been building with him probably over a year because I've been wanting to get some fronts, and you know, it's been
Okay.
back and forth, but you know, I really never had the time. But then, like 3 weeks ago, he reached out and he was like, "Yo, I see you out here in these streets, and I love what you're doing. Like, he was like,
Right.
yo, please come through. Let's get this done. Like, come and get fitted." I was like, "Yo, word." And he was like, "Word." I was like, "Say less, man." Went there, got the mold, and he was like, "Yo, since you know you just joining the squad and everything, I outfit you with some fangs." I was
Okay.
like,
There
"Yo,
you go.
word." And then he was like, "You know, from there we definitely get the progression going." It's like, "Hey, say less, man. I got you." So went in there, did the mold, and of
Hmm.
course been patient. And then he hit me up last week and was like, "Yo, come and get your fangs, bro." And yeah, it's been on ever since. Like I'm addicted again because I had them back in the early '90s, but then of course through time you lose stuff and everything. So
Hmm.
it's kind of
And you're
it's
bringing it
definitely
back.
definitely taking me back. So I already
Okay.
know that I'm about to get the bridge on it and then get the bottom six done. So it's about to be a wrap by this spring.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's a good look.
Thank you very
So
much.
sure. Tell us, how can we catch up with you? If somebody wants to reach out to you, how can we find you on social media? What's your handle?
My handle is Baba_LP_7. That's BABA_LP_7. That's on Twitter and that is on Instagram. Just if you got something you want to do or need some sort of consultation, uh, I'm out here to throw some knowledge. Do understand that there is a fee. We don't give this away for
Right.
free, but trust and believe. If anybody knows me that they've messed with me, the knowledge that I've given has definitely helped, and everything has always been peace about me. So
Right.
that's how they can reach out to me, and we can go from there.
Okay, sounds good. I know you're a busy man, and I do appreciate your time. If you're ever doing anything else, well, you're always doing something, but if you ever want to come back on the show and share some information or let us know what you're up to, please don't be a stranger.
Oh, I definitely look out, and I'll definitely make sure that I tell the people to support and look out for Nicole Harris podcast. Definitely indeed.
I appreciate you. Thank you so much. And thank you so much for coming on the show and sharing with us. It was definitely needed, it was felt, and Again, I appreciate you.
Yo, thank you for having me. This was super dope. I didn't know that you can do this on the phone like that. Like, this crazy. Like, technology is really just, it's something else. So
It
yeah, with that
is.
being said, thank you for having me. More success to you, of course.
Thank
In
you.
the 2020 and definitely beyond.
Likewise. You can find me at the NicoleHarrisPodcast.com. I'm going to put all of Saleem's information there as well so you can check him out. He stays on the move. And until next time, I'll see you out there. Peace.
Peace.